Welcome back to another episode of the Up Watching Hawaii podcast. I'm your host, Ski Mask Murphy, and it is an excellent Saturday night of college football. We are in week two. The game I'm currently watching is Boise State versus Oregon. Boise State is up 20-14. It's 11 minutes left in the third, and unfortunately, one of Boise State's players just got kicked out of the game for targeting on a very late slide by the quarterback Dylan Gabriel for the Oregon Ducks. It's one of those things that's sort of tough judgment calls, but hey, it's all about player safety, and you want to make sure guys aren't getting their bells rung, but so much, right? But interestingly enough, I'm going to get to the rest of the action that happened in week two. But one of the more interesting things is because yes, I would consider Boise State one of my West Coast teams that I cheer for, especially one of the more teams that are the power, well, not power, one of the group of five, one of the smaller programs that I will cheer for a very long time. As a kid, saw blue turf, I was like, I'm sold. No, no questions needed. No questions needed. But one of the things I found interesting is, hey, this is the first time Boise State and Oregon have actually scheduled one another for a very long time. The last time they played one another was in 2017, the end of the 2017 season. They played one another in the Las Vegas Bowl. Okay? But the last time they actually scheduled one another was a home and home series, which the first game was at Oregon and the second game was at Boise State. So the last time these two agreed to play one another, instantly enough, if the only image you have in your head of Boise State playing Oregon, it's it's the game you're thinking about. It is when LeGarrette Blunt punched one of the Boise State players after the game after Boise State beat Oregon. And also, interestingly enough, this is the fourth time they played one another. And like, what would you know? Boise State has won every meeting between them and the University of Oregon. Even more so, out of all the teams in the Pacific Northwest who have played, Division 1A or FBS football, whatever you call it, depending on your age, Boise State, they only have a winning record against two programs out of the Pacific Northwest. They have a losing record versus Washington, losing record versus Washington State, losing record versus Oregon State. They only have winning records versus Idaho, which they were 13-2. Their in-state rival for a good long amount of time, and Oregon, which they are currently 3-0. But Idaho has gone back down to FCS, so currently the only FBS program, not just and one of their players is currently running in. They're going for the touchdown right now. University of Oregon, they just scored. So now the game's 20-20. Given the extra point, it's probably going to be 21-20. But there's still a lot of game to be left to be played. But as I was getting to, in terms of playing teams in the Pacific Northwest, where Boise State is located, the only school they currently have a winning record against is Oregon. And nonetheless, they beat them all three times they have faced one another. One bowl game and twice in a home and home series, which the last time they scheduled one another, LeGarrette Blunt let his frustrations go. Which, adding on to that home and home series, because the second game was at Boise State, where LeGarrette Blunt ended up throwing the punch. The first game, of course, home and home series was at Oregon, which, the game is 20-20. Count my chickens before they hatched. The kicker missed the extra point. So things are still running, man. But extra detail. The Boise State went in and won that game, I believe it was 37-32. They went in and beat Oregon in Oregon's home stadium. Oregon currently has a streak since that last Boise State game of having never lost a home game to a non-conference opponent since Boise State last came in there. And currently Boise State is in their house right now. So Boise State could make a few different notes of history if they beat Oregon once again. So that's just a few details on the game I'm currently watching, because Boise State's unranked and Oregon, they're currently number 7 in the country. So, hey, contributing more to week two's chaos, which I'm getting ready to roll through now too. That'll be another upset, which I'm saving the biggest upset for last. Yes, I will talk about my Michigan Wolverines and what happened today, but hey, we'll get to that. But one of the other games going on right now, which is contributing more to the chaos of a lot of close calls happening. The first close call I'm going to talk about is one currently going on with 4 minutes left in the third quarter. The University of Northern Arizona, the Lumberjacks, are currently playing the University of Arizona. And they were leading at the half 10-6. Currently, Arizona has somehow gotten back up, and they are now leading 13-10. It's a close one. This FCS program is giving them giving them all they can have, all they can take. If this ends up being an upset in the morning when you're listening to this, or whenever you listen to this after this Saturday night, hey, just know shit was happening. Shit was getting down and gritty because that's not the only close call that has happened tonight. Tulane, unranked Tulane, pushed number 17 Kansas State to the edge, 34-27. They were playing to win. They were playing to win. That's just what it is. You come out there, you play to win. In which the biggest thing is, Tulane was actually leading that game in the fourth quarter. They went into the fourth quarter tied. Tulane scores early in the fourth quarter, up 27-20. And yeah, Kansas State comes back at 11 minutes left, get a touchdown. Then with 8 minutes left, get another touchdown. And they barely hold on. Penn State had Bowling Green come in. And once again, teams are barely holding on because that game, you also had Penn State, Bowling Green. They went into the fourth quarter. Penn State was only up 3. And Bowling Green, hey, they tried as they could. They made a field goal with 49 seconds left, but hey, unfortunately, they couldn't recover the onside kick to give themselves one more opportunity to try to upset Penn State's good old day. And then another one, another close call for a ranked team. Number 15, Oklahoma, the Boomer Sooners. Houston came in and had them almost about to lose because Houston came in fourth quarter. The score is 12-14. But lo and behold, late, 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 late in the fourth quarter, they're trying to pull it out. Houston's doing all they can. They end up with a safety. So the game ends 16-12. So teams are getting they were getting a run for their money this week. And I haven't even gotten to the upsets yet. But first, I think I have to talk about it. If you're listening to this, you know I'm a Michigan alum. Got my degree from there. It says big old name, Ski Mask Murphy. Here's your degree from the University of Michigan. It's at home. My mama likes to keep it in the office because your mom's always gonna be proud of you. So yeah, my Wolverines did not come out doing their best. I didn't exactly say that we were going to win. I didn't make a guarantee, but I did say the game would be a lot closer than people thought it would be. Ended up not being that, unfortunately. Davis Warren and the offense couldn't get it clicking like we needed it to. The Don didn't get enough done. Didn't have as good a game on the ground as we thought he could have. Excuse me, got the hiccups all of a sudden. But Quint Ewers, real fucking deal, man. I said it before the game. I'll say it now. He's the real deal. Like he would have been one of the top draft picks. What we had NFL draft had 6 guys going like the top 15. It would have been if he was there. It would have been 7. All right. Quinn Ewers, real deal. Everything. All the suck ass fans saying, yeah, he still has hatred for Michigan from his Ohio State days. It's like, bro, I spent more time playing quarterback at Ohio State than Quinn Ewers did. Let's not do that, people. Let's be realistic. But hey, a good strong showing from Texas, showing that hey, they're locked and reloaded from last season being in the playoffs, and hey, they've stuck themselves out and showed hey, they're a contender once again. So hey, shout out to Steve Sarkisian. He's built a great program over there. Hey, hopefully as Michigan we can run into them again. And also at Michigan, Fresno State, we try to see it as a warm game, but Fresno State's a very competitive team this year in terms of group of five teams. But thought things may have gotten off to a better roll. I think I'm not going to say we need an exact change at quarterback, but maybe we might want to go. We might want to give Alex Orji a chance. He was sort of the guy we also coming into this. Notice Dr. Davis Warren, he earned a job, and hey, he didn't play bad, but in this to win championships, you need world beaters at quarterback. I don't think he's there yet. Not saying he's not going to get there. I was just saying right now he's not there, and unfortunately, hey, it is what it is. Which I do believe he does have another year of eligibility left. So maybe, maybe he improves over the course of the season, or there might be a necessary change. Who knows? Who knows what Sharon Moore is cooking up over there? But one thing I do know, last year I think we lost 17 guys got drafted to the league. Now I have to go look. I swear I feel like the whole team we lost 17 guys, and that's just unless you were Nick Saban at Alabama or like Bobby Bowden during his Florida State run, it's hard to just purely reload on talent just every year. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. And it's just boom, 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 boom. Let me see. I've counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 guys got drafted last year. That's just a lot to lose between offense and defense. But we'll figure it out. We'll be okay. And hey, sometimes that's how it is. Given how now you build rosters more similar to professional teams, things might have to go the professional way. Where hey, you win, and if you don't, it definitely now you're not really as built for a dynasty as you used to be because of the transfer portal and NIL is shaking things up. It's gonna be like in pro sports where it's like, hey, you win, and if you're able to keep your key pieces, you could probably repeat. If you're not, it's a tear down and you try to rebuild it again. Take the time again, which I would say, as the University of Michigan, we will figure it out. Because our past 4 seasons, we've had a very good run of a very strong defenses with a lot of guys in there. So it is what it is. We lost, we take it on the chin. The season's not over for anyone. I even said it last week with Florida State. With 2 losses, even their season's not over. They can still make the playoffs. So, hey, we're going to keep going. We're going to reload. We're going to make it happen. I believe in us. You should believe in us too. Or if you don't believe in us, believe in your own team. Even if somehow they're possibly 0-3 right now, believe in your team. Trust me. You gotta do it like Goku with the spirit bomb. You gotta put the belief everywhere. But moving on to some more games to round out the week. This podcast is a little bit longer than I normally want to make them, but hey, we're gonna get to a very good ending. A very good ending. If you paid attention, well, today/yesterday, depending on when you listen to this, you know what I'm gonna get to at the end. But let's go to a few other games. Let's talk about Colorado and their Big 12 opener against Nebraska, the Cornhuskers. And hey, Dion is still figuring out how to build the roster and fill things out. O-line didn't do the best last week. They didn't do their best this week. 28-10. I was only able to turn on the game for a little bit, watch a little bit of third quarter because now the girlfriend also I coach youth soccer, so the game was at 1:15 time. Think my schedule was getting a little busy, man. Being an adult, it it. I'm not saying it sucks. I'm just saying you got to run around and do things. You can't always sit back and enjoy the things you want to enjoy throughout your whole weekend day. Oh my God! I just saw, man, go to the 7:40 mark in this Boise State Oregon game, and you will probably see one of the craziest fumbles you've ever seen. And they had holding on the play. This is college football is madness. But let me go back and focus. Nebraska was able to give a very decent beatdown on the University of Colorado, but When I tuned into the game, in the third quarter, I saw Dylan Raiola he's like 18 for 23, but only like 130 yards. So I figured, hey, at least one of those had to be a pick six or something, a fumble recovery, and it probably was more so Nebraska's defense doing the job than it was Nebraska's offense getting it done, and that's what it was. And even looking through it, I was like, okay, I saw a couple drives. Colorado's defense was like, okay, they're still playing good, still playing some decent stiff defense. They tightened up in the second half. They got to let the offense, pick it up to get back in. And unfortunately, the offense wasn't able to do that. Dion, some of the last season, they get their shit together at halftime. It seems more than likely. But hey, Dylan Raiola, people have been calling him. Excuse, excuse the sneeze. People have been calling Dylan Raiola the oh, sorry. They've been calling him the Patrick Mahomes clone. But I gotta cut this in the middle. Sorry about that. The sneeze messed me up. I had to clean myself back up for a second. But as I was saying, Dylan Raiola, people have been calling him the Patrick Mahomes clone, which, because, dresses like him, moves like him, looks like him a little bit once he puts the shades and everything on. But one of the things you need to know about Dylan Raiola, good quarterback, true freshman, I believe he was a five-star coming out of his class. True freshman quarterback. People also need to be aware of, he does actually train with Patrick Mahomes and his passing coach, his program that he gets into during the summer. So this kid, he might not shake things up fully this season, but hey, in the next few seasons, look for him to basically be the next Quinn Ewers type kid. He's gonna be leading everything. All the national headlines will be on him if he doesn't somehow do it this season. I mean, they're gonna have to break away from the tradition of what is Nebraska football, which is still Big Ten football, which is, hey, 3 feet in a cloud of dust. They're gonna run the ball, but he is probably going to air things out. He's gonna make Nebraska people feel like they're getting shades of, well, not shades, but giving them the same kind of hype and enjoyment that Taylor Martinez once gave to them. But hey, that's that game, University of Colorado. I know the hate train's flowing right now because, hey, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, he's polarizing, and people are gonna feel how they're gonna feel. So on to the next game. Next game, look, gonna make this short and simple. Uh, Syracuse got up on Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech starting off the season great. Ranked number 23 this week. A little bit of upset for Syracuse to come in and beat them. Not an upset on my, not feeling like an upset to me, but you know how things work. But more so, I wanted to note that our our rivals of Ohio State, their former quarterback who they ran out of town last season, just because they lost the game against us. Kyle McCord is not a quarterback for Syracuse. I see this as a very big plus for Syracuse. They're going to be looking up on things. They barely held on to win 31-28, even though they went into the third quarter leading, not third quarter, went to the fourth quarter leading 24-14. So it's something that, hey, they should be able to keep moving forward, and Kyle McCord will probably show them that they were wrong to get rid of him. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Haynes King showed up. It's Georgia Tech could still make a very good run in the conference. They're sort of the dark horse I have coming out of the ACC, and they still might do it. I guess we could put Syracuse up there as another dark horse. We don't know what's going to happen. They're 17 teams deep in the ACC now, so anything could happen. Anything could happen. On to another upset. Surprisingly, Illinois got a little fight in them. The Fighting Illini of Illinois somehow goes in and beats the number 19 ranked Kansas Jayhawks. This ain't Kansas team who we all said basically was the cause of running Oklahoma and Texas out of their conference because they saw Kansas was starting to be able to put together a very good program. But they lost, and Illinois got it done basically through nothing but turnovers. Because they only were able to put one in one into the end zone through rushing. So They're doing it all with defense, special teams. It's kind of hilarious sometimes. They saw what Iowa did last year and was like, we can replicate that. So that's another upset. And speaking of Iowa, they were on the wrong end of the upset this week as well. The the battle for the Cy-Hawk Trophy. Well, Iowa State got it this year in a nail biter of a game. And when I say nail biter, I mean extreme nail biter. 20-19, and Iowa wins with the 54-yard field goal as time expires. That's the kind of stuff, you can't really make up. The stuff dreams are made of. I'm sure anyone who was watching that game was having themselves a field day. They were loving it in the state of Iowa. Whether which side you're on, which fortunately if you're a Hawkeye fan, you're on the wrong side. But now we're going to end this talking about the real upset of the day, the most notable upset of the day. That is the Northern Illinois Huskies walking in to South Bend, Indiana, and coming out with a victory. A victory on a field goal as time expires against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the number 5 ranked team in the nation. Good grief. Highly unexpected. I don't think anyone would have wrote that down. Riley Leonard did not have a great game for Notre Dame. Offense wasn't clicking. Defense, objectively, you got to say the Notre Dame defense were doing their job, holding the team to 16 points. I mean, but Northern Illinois, their defense came out to play, and the Notre Dame Irish did not come out to play on offense. And Northern Illinois is at the big upset, which I think will be the biggest story of the weekend. I think everybody was ready to hate on Colorado or my Michigan, and now it's like, oh, Notre Dame came out here and lost to Northern Illinois? How could they? Like, it's not like you got Chandler Harnish or Jordan Lynch out there for the Huskies. How they do this? Oh my God. And Oregon is currently running back a field goal with 4 minutes, not a field goal, a punt with 4 minutes left, and they are now up. They have broken the 2020 score tie. They have now taken the lead. They got history on the line. And funny I say that because Notre Dame, I don't think they had history on the line, but god damn. Number 5 ranked team losing to a team. I don't even think the Huskies, I don't think they had a winning record last season, to be honest. I have to double check this. Well, no. Last season, they squeaked out being 7-6 through a win in the Camilla Bowl. But the season before that, they were 3-9. So they are not the best team in the MAC currently, but I guess the MAC attack is real. That Maction got to Notre Dame. It, but I feel bad for Marcus Freeman, though. That's what I do really feel bad for in this because all I know is they're going to get rid of Marcus Freeman because of this. Notre Dame is never going to have a black head coach ever again. They're getting rid of him. Those Catholics are going to run him out of town. It's over for him. It's gonna be a long trail for that man. Nothing good is in his future. It's it's all downhill from here. Ah man. But being a college football head coach who gets fired, at least you still get paid, right? But man, Marcus Freeman, it's it's gonna be real tough sledding for that man. Real tough sledding. But also got to be watching prime time, and your deal with NBC. You're the only football that gets played in that channel on Saturday. So hey, like Florida State has been these first 2 weeks. Now it's Notre Dame's turn, and oh man, it's takes some joy in it. because they're one of our old rivals who decided they didn't want to play with the Big Ten anymore. So it's kind of enjoyable watching Notre Dame get their shit kicked in by Northern Illinois out of all teams. Knowing how Northern Illinois is one of the teams when they actually had good quarterback play, nobody wanted to play them. And the funniest part is that Northern Illinois got paid $1.4 million to play this game against Notre Dame. Meanwhile, their head coach for Northern Illinois only gets paid like around $600,000 a season. So literally, they they paid this coach's salary for the next 2 seasons just to get their shit handed to them. Oh, it's glorious. Oh, you gotta admit that's good. It makes puts a warm feeling in your belly. But that's all I'm gonna rag on for now. More episodes are coming. I'm gonna be way more reliable. But this is Up Watching Hawaii podcast. I'm Ski Mask Murphy. I appreciate you spending some time with me and just listening to me talk about this wonderful chaotic sport we have here in America, known as college football, which has rules, but nobody likes to play by them. So, hey, see you guys on the next one.